The New Orleans Saints win their first preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals last night. Today is the day after the day before, and today I have an interesting video for you. We are going to go into Reddit. Yes, I know we're going to go into the Reddit, the Saints subreddit specifically, and we're going to read and react to the game thread, so what Saints fans were thinking during the game, and we're also going to look at the post-game thread to see kind of a summary of what fans took away from the game. I was live tweeting during the game, watched the entire thing. If you're not following my Twitter, what are you doing? Get over there, follow it. Also, if you're not following my Instagram, go over there and follow it. We're posting all kind of stuff like my Paul Skeens Cy Young ticket, 55-1, which soon will be a very expensive coaster. Let's get into it right here on the Reddit and the comments section. All right, so real quick, before we get into the comments, let me go ahead and talk about what I thought. It's preseason, okay? I don't care about results. I don't care that we won. I don't care about any of that stuff. You know, like, you want to see good performances from individual players. You want to see how players on the offensive line are doing, the defensive line are doing. You want to see some of that. But overall, like, play calling, you're not going to see a ton. Derek Carr was interviewed on the sideline, and he said that Clint Kubak and the offense was not going to show much, and they didn't show much. So, you know, to come out of it and say, like, I didn't really like the play calling. It's like, well, of course you didn't like the play calling. The play calling was stale. The play calling was vanilla on purpose. So, you know, you see two possessions out of the Carr. They get a total of like 8 yards or something. Like, what can you really draw from that? I did think the defense looked good. I thought the defensive line was really good. I thought the defensive line was strong. It was causing havoc the entire night, even when the backups got in there. So that was good. And obviously, Haener and Rattler played really, really well. So that was good to see as well. So, okay, let's go through this. This is during the game. All right, so I was really impressed with Holker. Yeah, Holker was good. Penning got to go. This was a big one. I mean, Penning was terrible. Trevor Penning was awful the entire game. I mean, it was the same thing as last year, where if he's not giving up a sack, if he's not getting absolutely owned up on the edge, then has a holding call. You know, he just, it's more of the same. And it's unfortunate because I think we're all rooting for the guy. We're all Saints fans. We want Trevor Penning to work out. We want Trevor Penning to be a thing somewhere, whether it's left tackle or right tackle or whatever. But at this point now, like, unless he drastically improves over the next two preseason games, however much he plays, we have to do something. We can't, if last night, if the first preseason game was the last preseason game and we were heading into week 1, there is absolutely no chance that he could be your starting right tackle. No way. So you already have to go ahead and figure out a backup plan, I think. I think you definitely do let him keep getting the reps to see if he can figure something out. But, yeah, I mean, F grade for him. Talise Fuaga, he's staring me down over here on the right side, but Talise Fuaga was really good. I thought he was great. I really liked what I saw out of him. Again, you know, he plays 20 snaps. He's an offensive lineman, and what can you do? But I thought he looked really, really good, really comfortable. I liked what I saw out of him. I know preseason, but Derek Carr is absolutely garbage. New system, I understand, but there's an absolute zero chance that he can take this team down the field and score, period. Zero chance that he can take the team down and score. That's a new one. I thought he was going to say zero chance the team can win with him as quarterback, but no, he absolutely doubled down. There is a 0% chance he can take this team down the field and score. Again, like, Derek Carr is the quarterback. Derek Carr is the starting quarterback this year. Yes, Rattler looked good. Yes, Haener looked good, but Derek Carr's job is not in jeopardy, at least not for this season, maybe in the future. But he played two possessions. Very, very, very vanilla play calling. So I would put Carr is not who we're watching in the preseason. I'll tell you that. Like, Carr, Kamara, Olave, even to an extent, Demario Davis, like, don't waste your time watching how those guys are playing. Those guys are starters. Those guys are core guys. Those guys are who they are. So, you know, Carr's job is not determined by preseason possessions. Let's see here. Also, calling two draw plays in the red zone show me how. Yeah, I mean, this right here, like, this is a misunderstanding, I think, of preseason, where calling two draw plays in the red zone shows me how much faith Kubak has in quarterback one. Kubak probably has a play sheet for the starters. It's probably like an 8 or 9 or 10 play sheet. Like he doesn't have the full offense. He's not trying his hardest to get Derek Carr or to get these players to pick up first downs and to score touchdowns. Like he's more concerned about rhythm, tempo, communication, just getting reps in versus the actual result. This is very results driven for preseason, especially the first preseason game. Looks like it's time to trade in our used Carr. I think it's time to cut Penning so someone else can have the snaps. No point in cutting him, but I definitely think you start to, like I said, you start to kind of see where else you can go. Notice how there was no talk about the O-line when Rattler was playing because he actually got the ball out like a good quarterback does, like Drew always did. South Carolina grad here. We had one of the worst offensive lines in the country last year, so Rattler was constantly under pressure or scrambling. Even with a quicker NFL-level defense looking to tear your head off, he knows firsthand how important it is to get the ball out quickly. This is like one of those things where it's like there's something to this. There's something to that, yeah, Rattler was used to a really quick clock in college at South Carolina, and so he probably has that really quick clock in his head. That there probably is something to that versus if he played at Alabama and he was used to sitting in a very clean pocket. Rattler was absolutely not. Also because Penning was on the bench. This is also kind of true. Like the offensive line probably was better when Penning was on the bench. Rattler, O-line was ass, but positives were the D and Rattler pause. I'll take it. Who Dat? Yeah, this is pretty much O-line actually wasn't ass. I would push back on this a little bit. Trevor Penning was ass. The positives were the defense and Rattler. Yeah, that's pretty much would be my assessment. If I was assessing the game in a one sentence, I would definitely agree with Gator McCluskey. Trevor Penning was ass, but the defense and Spencer Rattler are pretty good. First heart attack win of the season. I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if your blood pressure was up on that kick, just remember it's preseason. So before the Patriots went undefeated until the Super Bowl, they lost all 4 of their preseason games. They went 0-4 that year. So don't put too much in the wins and losses. I don't think these announcers like each other. Nice finish. GG, good game, well played. It's been a pleasure. Hulk Hogan's the man. Let's not get that mixed up. I'm on the Rattler train. I've never overreacted on player evaluations, so you know it's real. Rattler was really good. His arm talent just jumps off the page. Like it really does. You know, his arm talent, like his physical skill set is so refreshing to watch. Especially after watching the Ian Books and the Garrett Graysons and even the Chase Daniels. Like Rattler is just a little bit different. He does look like a legitimate 5-star type player. Apparently the announcers were terrible. I don't know if they were watching on the NFL Plus or if they were watching on the Fox broadcast. I was watching on Fox on the local broadcast. Looks like they were watching the NFL Plus Arizona stream with Hogan. Not going to lie, I thought we blew it, but good on Rattler and the kicker to get close and win it with some help from penalties, of course. Yeah, there was a couple big-time penalties in there. Was that a successful, well-played, game-winning drive? I forgot we could do those. Fourth quarter winning drive back on a limited menu. Damn, man, I know it's preseason, but Spencer Rattler is absolutely in contention for quarterback 1. He is not. He is not. He made himself an opening tonight in his Carr spot to lose. It is not. It is not. Got to be, man, if he keeps balling out like this all preseason, there's going to be a fan revolt. Carr looked anemic. I mean, this is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think Spencer is right now, I think he'd be the quarterback too. And Haener looked good too. But I think you can just see there's more like physical talent there from Rattler. There's just a little bit more to mold, I think, if you're trying to develop somebody. But I think both were good. I think they're competing for that QB2 spot. I think Rattler is trying to win that. Not that really matters in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, like, let me. I mean, again, guys, like, there's no possible way, unless Carr gets hurt, but there's no way, or there is not a chance that Rattler overtakes Carr as QB1 with preseason play. Rattler looks good. Saints walk it off. I do like, so this guy said, look at that response to the backup kicker. I love it. So I do like that they had the backup kicker in there, because just like I talked about with Sean Payton used to bring in kickers and punters to try out every single week to keep his kicker and punter locked in. And so I like the fact that they allowed Charlie Smith to get in there and do it, to keep everyone on their toes. You know, man. By the way, Headley, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. He's lost that rugby style kick and he's gone more to a normal NFL kick. I thought he looked good too. I thought Headley looked good. So less rugby. That's 2000 and late, as Fergie would say, and more just, you know, flip the field. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, so basically, pretty much what it seems like is during the game, looks like in the game, people were saying that, wait, are there going to be two good Nakuas in the NFL? This guy, Breece Witherspoon, is going to have his mind blown when he learns that Samson Nakua has been in and out of rosters for a while now. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like Rattler is a breath of fresh air. I don't care if they make the kick or not. Agreed. He was a breath of fresh air. The back shoulder, yeah, the back shoulders were nice. Yeah, it looks like during the game it was a whole lot of Spencer Rattler's the man, bench Derek Carr, Trevor Penning his ass, which, you know, Trevor Penning his ass is true. And Rattler was really good. The bench Carr stuff is a little bit early. All right, let's go to the post game now. Post game. Let's see. Rattler looked good. So did the defense. O-line looked shaky. Trevor Penning. The defensive line looked really good. I'll say that again. Like, the defensive line, when you're seeing Chase Young, yeah, he was everywhere. Brian Brzee was getting involved. We just rotate so many players in and out now that we went from having no one to now we have like four really impactful rushers, basically, that are getting after the quarterback and causing havoc. If the defensive line steps up, if you told me Chase Young got 10 sacks this year, I would say we probably have the top 5 defense in the NFL, because you know how good the secondary is going to be. So, you know, to have a D line who's also getting after the quarterback, whew, that'd be nice. I think the plan would have been to give Haener and Rattler each a start in the remaining 2 games, but first team O could use some reps. Yeah, I was kind of surprised, honestly, that the first team didn't go out for the 3rd possession. So when we saw the first team O go out 3 and out on the 2nd possession, I was tweeting and I said that I thought they were going to come out for the 3rd, and I saw Nick his tweet as well. He said same thing. He was thinking that they would come out for the 3rd because they didn't get any reps. You know, like, at this point, you're more concerned about the reps. You're more concerned about getting in the flow, getting the tempo, getting the communication, letting people see things, right? And having 6 plays or whatever that the first team offense didn't I don't think did much. So I wish they would have got a 3rd possession in there. You never know why, like what the decision is for that, but I would have personally liked to see a little bit more as far as just pure reps. Like, obviously we all would like to see more, like, success, but I want to see more out of that first team offense for sure. And some coaches don't care. Like, some coaches do not care about preseason. Sean McVay does not care about preseason. Sean Payton does not care about preseason. Dan Campbell does not care about preseason. Like, some coaches have flat out told you they do not care. They could not care less. Mike McCarthy could not care less. Maybe Clint Kubak's one of those guys where he's sitting there saying, like, I'm not showing nothing. We're going to call 6 plays. We're going to call 6 basic vanilla plays, and that's just going to be it. And you know, we don't know. We don't really know how he rocks and rolls. I'm assuming that Dennis Allen's letting Clint Kubiak do whatever he wants as far as the offense. So if Kubiak says, I don't want to show anything, then I think Allen would say, okay, sure, don't show anything. So I don't know. Rattler's in a perfect situation right now. Learn from a veteran quarterback for a year or two, really hone your game, then take over as QB1 and go into his job as prepared as one could ever be. Dude has always had insane levels of potential, but I really think he's in the best situation to maximize his talents, assuming Carr doesn't get injured early on. Michael Crawfish, F-150, hit the nail on the head here. This is a perfect situation. Even if it ends up being Haener, it's a perfect situation because these guys can just compete. Haener or Rattler can compete. They can work on their skills. They can get comfortable. I always think it's better for a quarterback prospect to wait, to develop, to sit. I think that's always better than getting tossed in there. You know, I fully believe if Aaron Rodgers would have played from day one, he'd be out of the league. He would have had a Matt Leinart situation. Conversely, I believe if Matt Leinart would have had 2 years to sit, Matt Leinart probably would have been successful. It's hard to imagine a quarterback with that much talent, because quarterbacks have so much talent when they're getting drafted to play in the NFL, especially a high draft pick. It's hard to imagine one getting in there, having a couple years to develop, and then being bad. You know, so, or I would say, I mean, it's obviously that can happen, but because you still have to factor in like your own personal attributes, like if you're motivated, if all that stuff. But like Jamarcus Russell, he probably could have sat for 10 years and wouldn't have mattered. He just didn't want to play, didn't want to study, didn't want to prep, you know. So, but Rattler is in a good situation where Carr, for at least this year, has absolutely no pressure. You know, Carr has no pressure that Rattler's going to take his job. Rattler has no pressure to play quickly, and then whatever happens after that. You know, if we go 7-10, there probably will be a conversation to try and maneuver the cap to get out of Carr's contract. And I think they probably should at that point, especially if Rattler's ready. If Rattler's ready, yeah, get out of his contract, and then the Rattler era begins. So it is a good situation. I still don't like Dennis Allen as the head coach. I believe the Saints have hit their ceiling with him, unfortunately, and they'll be lucky to make the playoffs this season under his leadership. I like Kubiak as the heir apparent, though, and hopefully that continuity helps Rattler as he inevitably becomes a starter for this franchise. This is one of those things where it's like 1 + 1 = 3, right? Like, I like Kubiak as the heir apparent. Why? Like, we just saw the offense absolutely do nothing. You know, especially the first team offense. What? And I know I've said that maybe Kubiak doesn't care, and I wouldn't put much into the results. But obviously, this guy, it feels pretty strongly about this. But if you're this guy, Watery Domestic Groove, what have you seen so far that makes you think that Clint Kubiak could be the heir apparent? You know, and if Allen, like, if they'll be lucky to make the playoffs this season under his leadership. If they make the playoffs, Allen is not getting fired, obviously. So it's one of those things where it's like, it sounds cool. It sounds cool that like Clint Kubiak, young offensive coordinator, heir apparent, but right now doesn't make as much sense as he believes. It's hard for me to give up on DA if the defense balls out. That's his expertise. The offense needs to get their shit together this season. Yeah, Hefty Job's been watching the channel for sure. Allen is one of the best DCs in the game. He's not at all cut out to be a head coach, though. If it were at all possible for them to keep him at DC, which is not, that's crazy. In today's NFL, like head coach, in today's NFL, I think it's much more assistant driven. So if the defense is a top 5 defense and Kubiak gets the offense figured out, I don't think it matters if Allen is the head coach and Kubiak's the OC. I don't think it matters at all if you flip it and have Kubiak as the head coach and Allen as the DC. It does matter a little bit because probably one of the guys is the one giving the speech before the game and all that stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, in today's NFL, I don't think it really matters that much. If Kubiak kills it as OC, I would swap those two as head coach and be rather happy, assuming egos and paychecks don't get in the way. It's crazy that people think that. It's crazy that people think this would happen. You know what I mean? He even admits, like, it's just daydreaming. Cool the Jets. Rattler starts to beat out Haener post Carr. Iron sharpened iron. As fun as it would be to meme the Falcons with Rattler, you still have to choose the better quarterback. Bro saw him play a fraction of a preseason game and named the next franchise quarterback. Yeah, exactly, guys. Like, remember, talking about, we've seen a handful of possessions, you know. All right, Rattler, truthers, you have my attention. Rattler impressed. For a guy supposedly with huge commitment issues, I love seeing Chase Young giving it all. Yeah, Chase Young looked fantastic. Chase Young was really, really good. I mean, I would say that Chase Young was one of the most impressive people tonight, especially coming off the neck surgery. Like, if you factor in, like, a lot of people thought he might not be prepared for week 1, but to see him out there in preseason week 1 looking that good, very, very impressed with Chase Young. I think this could be a huge year for him. And if nothing else, but if Chase Young has a big year and we extend Chase Young and we get a 24-year-old, or I guess 25-year-old next season, a former second overall pick, edge rusher, kind of having a renaissance under the best DC in the NFL, whoo, that's some good business for Mickey Loomis. That would definitely be a strong case, strong evidence for Mickey Loomis. 5 takeaways. O-line looks rough. Trevor Penning looks rough. We need another backup running back. I think we're good on that. We've got like 9 backup running backs. Back 7 looks ready to roll. Yep. Defensive line needs work. Yeah, I don't agree. I thought the defensive line was good. It's very, very early, but we might have hit goal with Rattler in the 5th round. Rattler is a lot of potential there, for sure. For sure. All right, let's see. Thought Mims looked pretty good. Yeah, I thought Jamal Williams looked pretty good, honestly. I thought Williams was running hard. I was impressed with Williams. Granderson, Young, Brzee, Cam all looked good, and Shepard had some pressure too. I thought the D-line was pretty good today. Yeah, same. I'm sold. Timu Mahomes is our future. Pros. Hey, and Snake Daddy. Wow, this guy's out of control here. Looked good despite some of the worst line play I've seen in a while. Defense looked mostly solid. Perry shows up for games. Jamal was fired up. Yeah, I thought Jamal was really good. Special teams looked okay. Headley looked improved. Agreed. Groupie and Smith were pretty good. Yeah, I mean, what else could you ask for? Holker caught almost everything thrown his way. Yeah, I think Holker, you know, we're talking a lot about, oh my God, what's going on here? We're talking a lot about like Rattler taking over as the 1. But you can make a real argument that if anyone is taking over as the 1 because of their performance in preseason, it would be Holker. Because the tight end room is real weird in New Orleans. So if Holker has a big preseason, he could be tight end 1. So that's a legit guy. That's a legitimate guy there. That's a legit guy there that could, through a preseason performance, could become the starter and an impact player in an offense like this, especially a 2 tight end, as much as they're going to run 2 tight end sets, for sure. All right, there you go. Good stuff. Yeah, remember, guys, preseason, relax. You know, preseason. Don't go too far either way. Don't go too far in the excitement or the negativity. Just watch the micro stuff. You know, like when the quarterbacks are throwing, communication, timing, tempo, and then how they can sling the pill. You know, look at arm strength, arm talent, comfortable in the pocket, things like that. Don't like those things. Like if you're comfortable in the pocket, if you're all that stuff's happening, and we go 3, you know, we don't score a touchdown, who cares? Like in the regular season, results matter. In the preseason, it's much more of a micro level. You want to see, you want to see the technical stuff way more than the results. So there you go. Wanted to see what Reddit had to say. Reddit was kind of on it. They were obviously very emotional with Rattler and Carr, but everything else, you know, I think Penning was bad. I think the defensive line was good. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me know in the comments below. What did you think about the game? What did you think about Rattler, Carr, the offense, defensive line, everything? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.